What do you mean us? Don't say us, Hillary. You're not one of us.
She looks like she just took a hit of adrenochrome.
Yeah, dude.
Her skin even looks smoother than it did in the last one. You know, I've got a bit of a sweet tooth for the old chemicals. You know, be they derived from the amazing world of all the beautiful flora on this planet we inhabit.
Sure.
You know, I've even had some on and off love affairs with the synthetics over the years. However, there's one source from which I haven't had the pleasure of experiencing its bountiful mind-altering chemicals, and that is screaming children.
Do tell.
Please. As your attorney, I advise you to take a hit out of the little brown bottle in my shaving kit.
Adrenachrome?
What a classic.
God, it's so good.
Yeah.
Of course, the infamous adrenochrome scene. Adrenochrome, so the conspiracy goes, is a chemical produced in the brain, whether by the pineal gland or otherwise, as a fear response. This chemical can be harvested and used by another person to elicit an intense psychedelic high. The purported high produced by adrenochrome tends to be described as being similar to DMT. Now, I've heard Alex Jones describe it this way multiple times. Though most likely, I think he's just repeating what he heard Joe Rogan say when describing a DMT trip.
Right.
You know, you're blasted out of your body to another dimension where you come in contact with these otherworldly beings. Now, in the context of a DMT trip, those beings are often described as being good in nature, though they can be sometimes a little scary or harassing.
Mischievous.
The negatives are generally attributed to them trying to teach you something, though. So they're trying to be helpful, maybe sometimes in a mean way. With adrenochrome, the beings may appear to be good and helpful, but they are actually evil.
All right.
Here we go. This is a Facebook post from a QAnon follower. Adrenochrome, an immortality serum obtained from the adrenal gland of living children after they have been terrorized to get the highest levels of adrenaline. It has LSD-like qualities and is used in satanic rituals by monarchies, politicians, congressmen, celebrities, CEOs, and the elite. Kids are their drug. So of course, we learned about the widespread usage of adrenochrome mainly through the QAnon community. Best I remember, it started off as being something that just a few of the more notable bad guys for the right wing were accused of doing. So this is like, you know, George Soros, the Clintons, Bill Gates, the Rothschilds. Now back to the purported effects. Now, depending on how far you take this, it's possible that users may be experiencing more than just a chemical-induced hallucination. Again, this is an actual belief among the QAnon community and has been echoed, at least on occasion, by the likes of Alex Jones. Again, in a kind of perverse mirror image to the DMT community, some people believe that adrenochrome, like DMT, actually puts you in touch with these entities. Whether they're malevolent aliens coercing the rich and powerful of Earth to unsettle our institutions, to bring about the downfall of mankind or something, or more popularly, that you're being put in touch with demonic entities that are trying to turn you away from Christ to get you to become a servant of Satan.
It's a religious thing.
It often is. It takes that quality a lot, certainly in the real crazy right-wing conspiracy community. They're able to further other, I guess, their big boogeyman. You know, they have this real strong conservative religious flavor. And so, you know, these can't be people that are just ideologically opposed to us. They are spiritually opposed to us. And that spiritual opposition is manifested in their direct connection with demonic entities through the use of this drug.
Dr. Phil.
Oh, yeah. We're getting serious now.
Started getting too out of control.
I believe that Jesse was tortured for the drug adrenochrome. Adrenochrome is a chemical that our body produces when we are extremely fearful or have a lot of distress. It gives you strength, it gives you vitality. And the people that killed Jesse are harvesting that from other people. And when you drink it, it gives you euphoria and power. My gang member told me later that...
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say that the 4chan troll, the Facebook pipeline, is a real thing. And there are a lot of lonely, confused people out there.
4chan is where they're at, but Facebook is where their alt accounts are.
I don't know. I think this, as with many things, started as just a 4chan troll. And there's a bunch of really gullible normies and crazy great aunts on Facebook that heard about it and thought it was a real thing and then just started spreading it, and it just kind of took on a life of its own.
It doesn't even make sense, though. I mean, anybody with any biology 101 knowledge understands that adrenaline is not the adrenaline gland produces adrenaline, epinephrine. That's not adrenochrome. There's no psychedelics in there.
It is a real thing. It is a real thing. It is a real chemical. I'll say that. Oh, yes.
Well, Dr. Phil showed a chemical diagram of it, so I guess.
All right. Well, we're going to learn more about the chemical diagram. So this right here is a documentary. There was a QAnon, a scholar, I believe, is what his job title is. And he produced this documentary to show us, teach us a little bit about the chemical makeup and the brazenness of the users of adrenochrome and how they tell the world about their dark secrets and plant these images in everyday speech, maybe even beloved children's movies. And this is very low quality. This is as good as it would get, though. So since the beginning of time, the human race thought it was at the top of the food chain. Now let me show you the truth.
Oh, God. Enter the stars?
In there because we need this.
See?
This is Monsters, Inc.
Yes. All right, there's the adrenochrome molecule.
Our city is counting on you to collect those children's
They made
screams.
Monsters, Inc.
Without scream, we have no
put it out there for
power.
everybody to laugh. And look, it matches up perfectly with a soccer ball.
Oh, wow.
Now, hang on, James. You laugh now. Pay attention. Soccer ball under the little kid's bed.
Oh, gosh.
And there's these monsters that thrive on the screams of children. And these elites, this globalist cabal, was just brazen enough and so convinced that they could get away with this that they thought they'd make a children's movie about it so that they can normalize this to children. They can make the monsters more humanized so that when they come for their screams.
Interesting.
But that doesn't really make sense because they want them to scream, so you don't want them to be, I don't know, maybe he hadn't thought it out completely yet.
Well, they do fill up the big jugs in Monsters, Inc. They fill up the big jugs with the screams. It's full of adrenochrome.
Yeah, that's what it really is.
Wow.
So anyways, this is like a 2-hour documentary where he goes through Monsters, Inc. and finds all these little hidden messages.
I could think of worse ways to spend a weekend, I guess.
The movie Monsters, Inc. is essentially a documentary for what the Clinton organization and the Rothschilds have been doing for who knows how long. You know, it's about harvesting the fear of children. You know, it's the most sadistic, evil thing you could possibly imagine doing, really. You know, no sane, good, God-fearing, MAGA-supporting Christian would ever tolerate something as insidious as this.
Well, I'm reading Clinton Cash right now. It seems mostly what Hillary and Bill are concerned with is harvesting cash from rich people.
Cash so they could have their adrenochrome parties, most likely, is what I'm guessing. I don't know. I haven't read it.
And additionally, I would like to say that as a drug nerd myself, I am extremely interested, now that you've told me that this is a real compound, I want to get my hands on some.
Well, I might have a link.
Sick.
We'll have to just wait and see.
I do have children.
All right. Well, that's always a source too, buddy. So of course, this entire claim being made also has some historical precedents. As with much of the crap coming out of the right wing in America today, we can find traces of these same claims being made by other right wingers from a different time in a different place.
They've done this before.
Oh, they have. They have. So I'm going to play something for you about something was going on in a different right-wing resurgent movement. And you tell me if you can find the corollaries between what we've learned about what's going on with adrenochrome and who's doing it and what they were saying back at this time.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, it's right.
To explain and combat the most common anti-Semitic myths. Blood libel, the outrageous and dangerous myth that Jews murder non-Jews to use their blood for religious rituals, has fueled anti-Semitism and violence for centuries. In
that's what that is.
1991, a Syrian delegate read charges of blood libel on the floor of the UN Human Rights Commission. The Syrian delegate claimed the book The Matzah of Zion by the Syrian defense minister proved Jews engaged in ritual murder. Anti-Semitic propaganda still spreads claims of Jews drinking blood and eating children. Nazi propagandists spurred fear of Jewish plans for mass murder
Whoever made
and
that
blood
is
rituals.
genius.
Blood libel accusations also incited the 1903 pogrom in Russia and 1946 pogrom in Poland. The myth emerged in the 12th century when Jews were accused of killing Christian children as a perverse reenactment of Jesus' crucifixion. The myth later took on a blood motif, that Jews were killing for Christian blood. This medieval myth was reinforced by the infamous 18...
I like how the evil thing that's being done is always being done by like the weak group with no power whatsoever to the in power group.
Well, they want to make themselves appear like they don't have power.
Interesting. So I didn't know. I've heard of blood libel, but I didn't realize that's what it was. Basically, Jews murdering non-Jews and using their blood for some sort of rituals.
Yeah. So I've got the Elders of Zion up here, and I just wanted to let everybody know.
Are you wearing a yarmulke, sir?
Jews are absolutely not doing this. It's important for people to know.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony is wearing a yarmulke secretly this entire episode.
I'm definitely not. I'm not Jewish. I'm not working for Benjamin Netanyahu.
That's exactly what a Jew would say.
I am not on Ben Shapiro's payroll. Just want to be clear. Yeah. Anyways, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. This is the whole adrenochrome. It fits perfectly into the old idea of the blood libel, which it went back to the earliest part of the Christian church, like probably 500 AD. It was initially, I think it started because of circumcision, when the Christians really started to split from the Jewish elders in Judea, and Christians weren't practicing circumcision at the time, and it was an attempt to other this group and to vilify them, and it really picked up in the Middle Ages when Jews were the bankers at the time, because they were allowed to use her, and whenever somebody wanted to take all their money, they just claimed that they were killing Christians.
That's a good way to get out of paying your debts.
Incidentally, though, I remember when I first watched Fear and Loathing, aside from thinking that I obviously wanted to model my life after Raoul Duke.
Of course.
I specifically remember thinking, like, I got to try adrenochrome someday. Now, I wouldn't go out and kill somebody for it, but if somebody had, like, a bottle of it, I would definitely try it. Or, like, I don't know, if I was driving down a lonely country road at night and I seen that the car had wrecked in front of me and person dead with their skull already like split open, like, you would try it, right? You just pull their pineal gland out and chew on it a little bit.
Oh, dude, if I didn't have any other drugs, I would consider lots of things to get a hold of some adrenochrome. If it was that potent, there's plenty of homeless people nobody would ever miss.
I think we have a solution to California's homelessness problem.
Facebook people want adrenochrome, and California wants to get rid of their homeless. See, we're finding solutions today.
But yeah, so here is adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome.
It's a chemical compound produced by the oxidation, of adrenaline, epinephrine. So it was the subject of some research.
So it's a metabolite.
Yeah, they thought that it may have had a link in the cause of schizophrenia, I guess how the adrenaline metabolized in the brain. It turned out there was a lot of research done into that. It turned out it didn't have any effect.
It doesn't get you high?
It does not get you high.
Oh, fuck.
It does not. But yeah, I think it first come to prominence in like popular culture and the counterculture from Aldous Huxley, who obviously wrote The Doors of Perception. He mentioned that it could possibly have an intoxicating effect similar to mescaline, and it really kind of took off from there. And of course, the next big jump was when Hunter S. Thompson wrote about it in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, presumably referencing the Huxley passage about it, and that's really where the modern adrenochrome craze come from. Like, people are all essentially referencing Raoul Duke in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And since you were asking, you can actually buy it. And it is very cheap, too. It's like just a couple dollars a gram. Adrenochrome, specifically, is most commonly used to treat bleeding disorders. So like blood in the urine, bleeding from the retina, nose, uterine bleeding, etc. I was unfortunately not able to find any evidence of its psychoactive effects. In fact, nobody has. It's been researched pretty extensively over the past like 80 years. And
I imagine by everybody who fucking read that book.
Yeah, I think the biggest research would probably be done by like high school kids. If there was like any semblance of truth to the matter, there would be so many kids ordering this shit from India and take it in school.
We would have heard of it surely back in the 90s.
Yes.
Hamilton Morris would have made a video on it by now.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I think adrenochrome gets relegated to the bananidine category.
God damn it.
It is bullshit. There's nothing to it, unfortunately. Just to be sure, though, because as you know, the Jews, the rich people run the media.
Yeah.
And they're the ones controlling the narrative. They're the ones controlling Wikipedia. But we're just going to watch this video, and then you tell me what you think. You tell me if this person is an adrenochrome addict.
Clintons are very evil. Supposedly they torture these kids. It gets their adrenaline flowing in their body.
Look at that photo.
Then they take that out of their adrenal glands, and then they drink their blood or that out of their...
I've heard about things like that.
All right, so it's too cute.
Oh, gosh. Facebook has fucking ruined the world, man.
If somebody were to be harvesting children to drink adrenochrome, that certainly looks like the face of the elite that would be doing it.
Yes.
There's something going on with Hillary Clinton.
My kids are not getting anywhere near her. That's for sure. Looking like that.
No, of course not. Hillary Clinton or Trump, who would you rather? Your kids have to be babysit by one of them. Which one's it going to be?
Donald Trump. For sure, dude.
Yeah.
That'd be a blast. They'd probably have a really fun time.
I guarantee they would. They get to run around his golden mansion.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. He doesn't care about him. He didn't care about children. He's just going to hire some Mexican to come and babysit him for an hour or two. And then he's going to have sex with an Eastern European model and whine about how the election was stolen.
I would rather hang out with Donald Trump as opposed to like fucking Bill and Hillary. That's for damn sure.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Bill, he'd be
trying to fuck me.
Okay. Hillary does have a response to it. I don't know. We'll see if you buy it or not.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I know that you're not alone. It's hurtful. I'll be really honest with you. It's hurtful, not just to me and my family, but to my friends and other people who know that this is not just false, but painfully false. So just as one American to another, I hope that we can start trying to find some common ground again and overcome all those forces trying to divide us and put us into little boxes apart from each other.
What do you mean us? Don't say us, Hillary. You're not one of us, you fucking psycho.
She looks like she just took a hit of adrenochrome.
Yeah, dude.
Her eyes are like wide open and bloodshot red. Her skin even looks smoother than it did in the last one. So that's what it does. It also makes you youthful.
If there's one person I could see just murdering children willy-nilly, it's fucking Hillary, dude.
I mean, she does, technically, right? As Secretary of State. I mean, I'm sure
it's kind of her job.
Ordered the murder of a lot of... Yeah. She does it for business and pleasure.
We've spotted another daycare. Send in the drones.